Bitcoin halving is coming, just around the corner. But what is this? Well, Bitcoin halving term stands for the reduction of issuance of new Bitcoins. It happens approximately every 4 years. So how big is this reduction? Well, today miners are those entities that run the server infrastructure, um, running the Bitcoin protocol. And what they do, they basically record transactions in block, and for every block of transactions, they get a mining reward, so newly issued Bitcoins. So today they get 12.5 Bitcoins for every block. And what happens in several days is that this reward is halved by 2. So instead of 12.5, they will be receiving only 6.25. So this is a Bitcoin halving or reduction of Bitcoin mining rewards. So when this happens, what basically happens with the Bitcoin market price that over a certain period of time, market starts to feel this reduced issuance of Bitcoins, and the price starts to rise. So of course, the dynamic is very different from cycle to cycle, but just to give you an example, back in 2012, that was, the first Bitcoin halving, the price was around $11. And within 1 year, the all-time high of 1,100 was reached back then. Yes, exactly, approximately within 1 year. So that means actually that if you would have invested like 10,000 before the halving event, then you would be at 1 million a year later. Well, then, actually from that all-time high, the Bitcoin price went down again to around 700. So at around 700 in 2016, the second halving event happened. And from there, it took a little bit longer to the next all-time high. It was approximately like around 1.5 years. So the price went from 700 to 20,000, which, actually gave the investors another 3,000%. And basically, back to those 10,000 that you would have invested in 2012. So they would now turn into 20 million. And of course, this is crazy, but for that, you need to understand, the absolutely limited supply of Bitcoins and how this halving is working. It's actually absolutely the opposite of what we have with any national currency and with any, fiat money that is printed by national banks. So of course, the question is a little bit, what will happen this time? And it's a question, how high it will go, what will be the next all-time high, and within which period of time. I hold to my prediction, which I gave several years ago, that we will see Bitcoin price going to 100,000 within the next cycle. Now, I strongly hold to it, and actually it's a very conservative assumption because this is kind of like from now 10,000 to 100,000. This is just going up by only 1,000%, which, in comparison to both two previous halving events is not that much. So I strongly hold to this prediction. Now, within which period of time, this is very difficult to say, right? I actually, before the COVID came, I used to think that it will be longer. It will be probably like 2 years from now. But with what is currently happening, and with Bitcoin developing into this very strong narrative of being a hedge asset, and this anti-inflationary protection from governments printing money, and seeing all the hedge fund legends jumping into Bitcoin. So it might even be that I'm completely wrong, and this is this time the all-time high will be reached much faster, not in 2 years, not in 3 years, but maybe even within the next 12 months. But again, it's very difficult to say. There is a lot to know. This is just the top of the iceberg that I'm telling you now. I wrote a little article called Top 10 Facts You Need to Know about Bitcoin halving, and put it on our website, smartvalor.com. check it out. And basically, do your own research, don't miss it, and happy Halving. Bye.